Gentlemen, listen carefully. Most men don't fail with women because they lack intelligence, charm, or good intentions. They fail because they discover the truth only after the damage has already been done, after the breakup that blindsided them, after years of effort that went nowhere, after being called amazing right before being replaced. Today, you're going to learn 9 critical lessons about female psychology that most men only figure out when it's already too late. These aren't theories or opinions. These are patterns observed repeatedly in modern dating, relationships, and the painful lessons men learn through experience rather than instruction. Pay close attention because what you're about to hear contradicts much of what society teaches about attraction, relationships, and how women actually respond to male behavior. Whether you're single, dating, or in a long-term relationship, these lessons will challenge what you think you know. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. Attraction is felt before it's spoken. Here's something most men never realize until it's too late. By the time a woman says anything about how she feels, her emotions have already made the decision. Her attraction to you, or lack thereof, was determined long before any conversation about where this is going. Men operate logically. They think clarity comes through communication, so they wait for verbal confirmation, wait for her to express interest clearly, wait for the right moment to know where they stand. But here's the truth. Men who wait for verbal clarity usually arrive too late. Attraction happens in moments of tension, uncertainty, presence. It's visceral, not verbal. By the time she's ready to articulate her feelings, those feelings have likely already peaked or faded. Women experience attraction as a feeling first, then try to make sense of it later. This is why you can't negotiate desire. You can't convince someone to feel what they don't feel. And you definitely can't talk someone into attraction after it's gone. The men who succeed with women understand this instinctively. They respond to what she does, not just what she says. They read the energy between them, not just the words exchanged. Lesson number 2. Interest isn't logical, it's emotional and contextual. Men tend to believe that saying the right things will generate the right response. Get the words right, present yourself well, demonstrate your value, and attraction should follow. That's the logical approach. But female attraction doesn't work that way. What she feels around you matters infinitely more than what you say to her. Her emotional context, the vibe, the tension, the energy, shapes her perception far more than your carefully chosen words. You can say all the right things at the wrong emotional moment and still fail completely. Conversely, you can say very little but create the right emotional atmosphere, and attraction builds naturally. This is why some men can be brutally honest, even blunt, and women find it magnetic. Meanwhile, other men try to be perfect, polite, and considerate and get labeled boring. It's not about the content of your words, it's about the emotional state those words create or destroy. The context matters. Her mood, the environment, recent experiences, how she feels about herself in that moment, all of it influences how she responds to you. Men who understand this stop trying to script perfect conversations and start focusing on creating the right emotional environment instead. Lesson number 3. Silence often reveals more than effort. This lesson destroys the try harder mentality that society drills into men. Most men believe effort equals results. If she's pulling away, increase effort. If she's distant, try harder to connect. Show her how much you care through constant action, attention, and availability. But here's what actually happens. When you stop chasing and she suddenly leans in, that wasn't coincidence, that was cause and effect. Silence and space create curiosity. Effort without boundaries creates obligation. Most men talk themselves out of attraction by filling every gap with words, reassurance, and explanations. They fear silence because they interpret it as disinterest. Women interpret silence differently. When a man is comfortable with silence, it signals confidence. It signals that he doesn't need constant validation. It demonstrates emotional self-sufficiency, one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess. Pay attention to what happens when you pull back slightly. Does she reach out? Does she initiate? Does she seem more engaged? If so, your previous over-effort was likely smothering the attraction rather than building it. The men who understand this stop performing. They stop trying to earn approval through constant attention, and paradoxically, that's when many women start chasing them. Lesson number 4. She tests boundaries before she trusts desire. Here's where most men get completely confused. The small contradictions, the mixed signals, the sudden pullbacks that seem to come out of nowhere. Men interpret these as confusion or game playing. They're not. These are filters, instinctive tests to see how you respond to uncertainty, challenge, and emotional turbulence. She's not consciously plotting to test you. She's unconsciously observing how you handle situations that would rattle a man with no frame, no boundaries, no emotional center. Will you stay calm when she's emotional? Will you hold your ground when she pushes slightly? Will you maintain your direction when she questions it? These tests aren't about winning arguments. They're about demonstrating emotional stability. Most men fail these tests without even knowing they happened. They get defensive, over-explain, seek reassurance, or collapse their boundaries to keep the peace. Each failure chips away at her respect, and eventually her attraction. The men who pass these tests do so by staying grounded. They don't react emotionally to emotional bait. They don't rush to fix her mood. They remain steady, which allows her to feel safe surrendering to her feminine energy. Lesson number 5. Comfort kills mystery faster than mistakes. Society tells men that relationships thrive on comfort, safety, and emotional security. And to some degree that's true, but only after attraction is firmly established. The mistake men make is prioritizing comfort too early in the process. Being safe before you're desired turns you into a friend, not a lover. Desire requires tension. It needs polarity, uncertainty, emotional charge. When you remove all of that in the name of making her comfortable, you remove the very elements that create and sustain attraction. This doesn't mean being cruel, unpredictable, or playing games. It means maintaining some degree of mystery, some independence, some challenge. It means not being available on demand 24/7. It means having a life, priorities, and boundaries that exist independent of her validation. The moment a man becomes completely predictable and totally available, attraction begins to fade. She may still like you, she may still appreciate you, but the spark, the thing that made her think about you constantly, starts to disappear. Desire needs space. It needs room to breathe, to wonder, to anticipate. Constant availability suffocates that. Like and subscribe if you want truths most men never hear. Lesson number 6. How she treats other men tells you everything. One of the most overlooked sources of information about a woman's character and intentions is how she talks and treats other men, especially in your presence. If she constantly complains about other men to you, pay very close attention. You're either trusted as a genuine confidant, or you're unconsciously being compared to them, and not always in the way you'd hope. Watch how she speaks about ex-boyfriends, male friends, colleagues. Is there respect or is there contempt? Does she take any accountability, or is every man in her past somehow defective? The way she talks about them reveals how she might one day talk about you. Also observe, does she maintain friendships with men who clearly want more? Does she keep orbiters around for attention? Does she flirt with others to provoke a reaction from you? All of these behaviors are data points. They show you her relationship with male attention and boundaries. Men often ignore these red flags early on because they're flattered by her focus on them. They think, I'm different. She won't treat me that way. But patterns repeat. How she navigated past relationships is usually how she'll navigate future ones, including with you. The healthiest women are those who speak about past relationships with some nuance. They acknowledge their own role and what went wrong. They don't trash every man they've dated, and they don't keep backups orbiting for validation. Lesson number 7. Effort increases when attraction is uncertain. Here's a counterintuitive truth. When a woman is genuinely attracted and invested, she will make effort, but she'll often pretend she didn't. Women downplay their effort because overt pursuit feels vulnerable. So she'll happen to be in your area, or accidentally text you, or put herself in your path while making it seem coincidental. This is her way of investing without fully exposing herself to rejection. But here's the key. If she keeps showing up, physically, emotionally, digitally, your presence has created impact. She's drawn to you, even if she won't admit it directly. On the flip side, when attraction is absent, effort disappears. Texts slow down. Plans fall through repeatedly. She's always busy, but never offers alternatives. Her energy toward you becomes neutral or distant. Men waste months, sometimes years, trying to revive attraction that was never strong to begin with. They see minimal effort from her and respond by increasing their own effort, hoping it will inspire reciprocity. It rarely does. Real attraction is mutual. Both people invest. Both people initiate. Both people make time. If you're the only one consistently trying, you're not in a relationship, you're in a one-sided pursuit. Lesson number 8. Reappearance is a stronger signal than compliments. Words are easy. Compliments cost nothing. You're amazing. I really like you. You're different from other guys. None of this means much without behavior to back it up. But reappearance, that's real. If she keeps returning after distance, if she reaches out after silence, if she reinitiates contact after conflict, that tells you something significant. Your presence left an impression. You occupy mental and emotional space in her life, whether she openly admits it or not. Men often undervalue this signal because they're focused on what she says rather than what she does. They want verbal confirmation of interest. But repeated reappearance is confirmation. It's behavioral proof that she's still drawn to you. Now, this doesn't mean every reappearance is positive. Sometimes women return out of boredom, validation seeking, or because other options dried up. Context matters. But in healthy dynamics, consistent reappearance, especially after she's had space, indicates genuine interest and investment. Compare that to women who compliment you constantly but never actually spend time with you, never prioritize you, never follow through. Those compliments are often just social lubrication. They keep you around without requiring real investment from her. Trust behavior over words. Always.
Lesson number 9. Jealousy appears in micro-expressions, not drama. Hollywood teaches us that jealousy looks like big confrontations, tears, and accusations. In reality, jealousy in early or uncertain attraction is far more subtle. It shows up in tone changes, short replies when you mention another woman, subtle interruptions when someone else has your attention, questions that sound casual but carry emotional weight underneath. This isn't possessive, explosive jealousy. It's interest protecting itself. She's monitoring potential competition without fully revealing how much she cares. Most men miss these signals entirely because they're looking for obvious signs, but women rarely display jealousy overtly unless they feel secure enough in the relationship to express it. In the early stages, it manifests as micro-adjustments in behavior, slightly colder energy, testing questions, increased attempts to capture your attention. If you notice these shifts, recognize them for what they are. Signs of investment. She cares enough to feel threatened by the possibility of losing your attention to someone else. Conversely, complete indifference to other women in your life often signals low attraction. If she doesn't care who you spend time with or who's interested in you, it's usually because she's not invested enough to feel threatened. Again, this doesn't mean intentionally provoking jealousy, but understanding these subtle signals helps you accurately read where you actually stand with her. Final thoughts. These 9 lessons are hard because they contradict what most men are taught. You're told to communicate more, try harder, be more available, prioritize her comfort above all else. And while those things have their place, they don't create or sustain attraction. Attraction responds to emotional strength, boundaries, self-respect, and polarity. It thrives in environments where both people are invested, where mystery still exists, where effort is mutual, and where reappearance signals genuine interest. Most men learn these lessons through painful experience, after the relationship ends, after she's moved on, after realizing that everything they thought would work actually pushed her away. You don't have to learn them the hard way. You can adjust your approach now. You can start observing behavior instead of just listening to words. You can maintain your boundaries, your standards, and your self-respect from the beginning rather than losing yourself trying to earn someone's approval. The right woman will respond positively to these principles. She'll respect your boundaries, she'll meet your effort, she'll value your presence because you've demonstrated you won't tolerate disrespect or one-sided dynamics. The wrong woman will resist, test harder, or walk away. And that's actually the best outcome because it saves you months or years of frustration trying to build something with someone who wasn't truly invested. If you don't understand these 9 lessons, you'll keep repeating the same mistakes, thinking it's bad luck when it's actually psychology.